What's up, everybody? Happy New Year's. I hope you guys had a great New Year's Eve. And I do want to say right off the bat, I hope 2020 is the best year yet for you and your family. And I truly mean that. I hope it's your best year. I want to talk about a knife today from Ferrum Forge Knife Works. They are out of San Diego, California. The company was founded in 2009 by Elliot Williamson. He started this out of his garage, and he works alongside his brother Chris Williamson. And big kudos to them, right? A lot of knife manufacturers start like this, and it seems like they're doing very, very well now. They have obviously a lot of traction, and they design knives. They don't necessarily make every single knife, but they design a lot of knives and have other people make them, and they make their own as well. So it's a combination, and they do very well. The knife I want to talk about is the Ferrum Forge Pro Series Lackey. It's usually, I think they only put out limited runs of everything. So they'll make a 200 knife batch, and they'll throw it out, and it gets all bought up, and then they'll make something else, which is pretty cool because the variety. I think they've made tons of knives, probably thousands of knives since then, but they'll come out with something. I think they rarely bring something back. I know they have, but it's not common. Okay, so this is the Lackey. It's a $60 knife. So the price point is great. I like that. It is their first production fixed blade put out by Ferrum Forge. It's very thin. The fit and finish is great on it. I think it's done very, very well. Overall, it's 6.31 inches. The blade is 2.89. So for those of you that care, it's under 3 inches. Some people need that. It's a drop point design, which I'm a fan of. I think it's done very well. It's D2 steel, as you can see here. And let's flip this over. There's their symbol right there that matches the box. So it has an acid wash finish, which I think looks good. The blade thickness caught me off guard, just because I review a fair amount of knives, and it's a thick knife for the size. It's a very small knife, but it's very thick. It's 0.156. So, for example, I did a review on the Buck 110, the legendary Buck 110 folder, and that's a pretty robust, strong knife, and the blade on that is 0.12, and this is 0.156. So one thing is it is very thick behind the edge. That's good and bad, right? They consider this a small utility knife, and I think for that purpose and that intended purpose, I think that's great. Okay, for sharpening purposes, it can be tough because the thinner the edge down there, the easier it is to sharpen because you want super thin razor edge down there at whatever 40 degrees inclusive is where this one's at right now. So you have the strength, but it's harder to sharpen as you use it microscopically, the edge is going to slowly start to move to that spine, and it's going to get thick very fast, and it could be an issue, right? And that would take a lot of use, but could be an issue. So, but not the end of the world. Okay, the weight of this knife is 2.35 ounces. Not crazy, nothing crazy. It's a small knife. You have the Kydex sheath, so you can carry this as a neck knife with a chain. And I gotta say, there is a positive click when you put this in. I would not be afraid of carrying this upside down. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I like the sheath. It's very thin. I think it's done very well. Okay. If you want, you can put these snaps on there. It comes with that. You can take those off and you can attach them to the holes here, and you can either carry the knife horizontal on your belt. You could probably even carry it vertical, but that's probably not as common. So those are some options that it comes with. I like options. That's cool. These seem very, very durable, by the way. I snapped them together earlier. I don't know why I did it, but I snapped them together because I was just fidgety. And when I went to pull them apart, it was actually very, very hard for me to pull them apart. And I don't consider myself a slouch, right? And they're pretty durable. So I think that's actually a pretty good product. The handle on this is a G10. It's done very well. Like I said, I'm impressed with the fit and finish on this. I am. It's a nice knife. So, unfortunately, I can't have all positive points, right? There has to be pros and cons, and I'm not bashing anybody. I'm actually really interested in this company. So, Elliot and Chris, if you are watching, I know you have a YouTube channel. I'm impressed with this knife. I'm getting ready to say something that you might get frustrated about, but it's just honesty. I'm just being honest. And I would love to review other knives of yours. You know, if you want to send anything in, I would love to review it, but I am going to be honest. So my buddy Jared, that I have this on loan from, said he pulled this out of the box and he was actually disappointed in the sharpness in it. He said it was not very sharp. He said it was definitely not one of the sharpest knives he got brand new out of the box. And I also saw 2 YouTube videos that said the same exact thing, which is disappointing. Even at $60, so $60 is great. It's budget friendly. You have D2 steel, which is good. I mean, that's fine. G10 handles, which is cool. I like that. You get extras for $60, and there's so much work put into this. I am not a master at manufacturing knives. I know there's a lot put into this. You have to coordinate a lot of things to make this happen. Totally get that. But if you buy a knife, I think everyone on earth expects it to be sharp. And I guess this is the third one I've heard of that wasn't very sharp. So, he brought this knife to a Christmas dinner and said, can you work on this thing and see what you can do? And then you can review it while you're at it. I'm like, sure. So here's what happened. I put it in the wicked edge. I put permanent marker on the edge. I put this at 20 degrees. I just put 1000 grit on there to see where it hit the marker on the edge. 20 degrees, perfect. The marker was gone. 20 degrees. Awesome. That was a lucky guess. Totally lucky guess. Went over here, 20 degrees, hit it. It did not remove the marker. It was actually very, very low on the very edge where it goes from the acid wash to the shine. And I moved it out to 21, 22, 23. And at 23 degrees, took the marker off. Not the end of the world, right? And this might have been done by hand. A lot of knives are. That's fine. It could have been done on a wheel, whenever they were making this knife. So it was 20 degrees on this side, and it was 23 on this side. Not the end of the world, but it wasn't sharp. That's a problem. So that's a huge problem. So I don't care if this is 20 degrees and this is 30 degrees. It has to be sharp. Everybody expects a sharp knife when they buy it. That's why they buy it. They're going to cut things. So with that being said, on their website, they do offer a $35 custom sharpening job by Mike Emler or Michael Emler. He also has a YouTube channel. And he uses water stones from what I understand. And I think the business is called Scary Sharp. And he can put a mirror polish on these edges. And it's pretty cool. So he can do that. With that being said, you're buying a knife from someone and then they're asking you if you want it sharpened before they send it to you. And I know it's a mirror polish, so that's different. I would never expect a mirror polish from a manufacturer or a knife maker. But especially for $60, but I fully expect a sharp knife, period. I'm not going to beat a dead horse there. Okay. So I did some work on it and it's sharp now. It's very sharp. It's hair popping sharp, which I like. So that was the main issue. Like I said, one thing I really want to know is where this knife was actually assembled, ground, acid washed, everything. If you know, or Elliot or Chris, if you're watching, just comment below and let me know. I'm just curious. It's not the end of the world. I just, I carry the Rat 1 hiking today, and it's not made in the USA. Okay, so I'm just curious, but it says on there, and I'm just curious. Okay, I would like to know where stuff's done. So a lot of times I know they will design a knife and they will have WE, assemble it and make it in China, and they put out great products. They have great reviews. Okay, they really do. The steel a lot of times comes from Vegas Forge, so that's made in the United States, and then it's produced by Mastrop. I mean, there's a lot of hands in there, and like I said, my hat's off to these guys. They're very successful at what they do, and I think they do it very well as well. I have no complaints. I'm really curious about where this was made. That's all. So if you know, comment below. But guys, again, Happy New Year. This is the Ferrum Forge Pro Series Lackey. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's going to be more reviews. And have yourself a good rest of the day.